This video was shot at KublaCon 2014, the con of cons in Burlingame, California. Each Memorial Day weekend at KublaCon, you'll find enthusiastic excitement for gamers of all ages. From Pathfinder Society events to War College seminars to board, card, and role-playing games, KublaCon has it covered. Stop by KublaCon.com for more information, and be sure to look through all of our show coverage at OgreCave.com. Japji, you run KublaCon, right?
I do indeed.
How long has this been going on?
KublaCon has been going on since 2001, and before that it was Manifest. It was kind of same volunteers, ownership, focus for many years, and that started in 1994.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's 20 years.
Manifest was kind of grew out of Magic the Gathering and that phenomenon, right?
That's right. It grew out of Magic the Gathering, and for the first couple of years it was collectible card game focused. And then as CCG sort of faded a little bit, we changed our focus and ultimately changed the name because people always associated us with the CCGs, and we wanted to get away from that. So
rebranding helps sometimes.
Exactly. So that's what we did. Yeah.
And now you are one of the bigger conventions in California for tabletop gaming, it seems. I mean, you're growing every year. You're taking over almost all of the hotel.
I'm gonna be only a little bit more hyperbolic than you. I think we are, as far as I know, the largest gaming convention on the West Coast. There might not. I suppose there's some game conventions in Seattle. I'm maybe not quite familiar with, or Portland, up the Northwest, but. And it's nice to be big, but big isn't really what we're all about. Our focus kind of as a team is people having fun.
Right.
Yep.
What I see a lot at KublaCon is actually new game developers trying to playtest and get things out to a new audience and show off, see what works, see what doesn't. Playtesting things before they finalize it and send it off to the publisher. How valuable is KublaCon as that sort of proving ground for people?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I'd love to say the answer is immensely valuable. But it is very valuable, and I think it can be more valuable if we do things a little differently. And what I mean by that is I think we have become a proving ground for a lot of games, game designers, and new games that are coming out. We've been doing the game design contest since, I think, 2002. And it's a contest where designers submit their games, and we review them and award a winner. We also get a lot of our special guests that are, not only game designers, but they're here designing games, and they're playtesting them, as you mentioned, in the lobby, in the open gaming areas, and asking people to give them feedback. I think the way we can do a better job with that is we always have, we love our game design contest, and we get some very interesting submissions, and we've gotten people who have actually taken their submissions to publishers and had them published. What we're not great at, that we can do a better job at, is letting the public know who those designers are and who's won and what they designed. And sometimes it's a kind of a balance between they have their game that's a little bit secret because it's not published yet they want people to know about it. But I think it's immensely valuable for that. And even as if you're not in the contest, you're not anything, there are so many willing gamers here to pretty much do anything. You can sit down at an open gaming table and say, hey, play my game design, and people will do it, and you learn a bunch of stuff from that.
Yeah, we really started with KublaCon. What kicked us into gear so we would do the Kickstarter was the success of KublaCon last year. We did about a run of 50 copies through the GameCrafters.com.
Right.
And that's this printing right here, which has been fantastic for us. We brought those to the convention. We sold out of everything. And we were like, all right, well, let's do this for real now, and let's get a real printer, and let's try to kickstart it. And yeah.
Is a show like KublaCon a good incubator for games like this? It seems like a lot of people take advantage of this sort of environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to sit down with people that isn't your test group of your friends and get some really honest feedback has been a lot of help. KublaCon has helped make this game.
KublaCon seems to really take feedback from its attendees seriously and make adjustments quickly. When people needed more ways to get gamers, the flags for "we need more gamers" came along pretty quickly, and it just seems like you're on top of adjusting, which I like a lot, and keeping your finger on the pulse of what people really want. What do you think has changed for this year?
Some of the things that have changed for this year in terms of experience of our attendees, and again, I know I've said it already, but our focus is on people having fun, and we like to use. I like to use a term. It's experience marketing, where people want an experience, and what we tell our folks is, our staff, they're not coming here to play a game. They're coming here to go somewhere and be in Ibiza or be in some foreign country or a fantasy land, and they're going to be there all weekend. They're going to have an experience that is bigger than the game that they played. And we're all part of that experience and making that happen. And sort of just being the hosts that point them down the pathways for that. So more specifically to your question about what have we done to change that? Some of the things that we try to listen to feedback, like you say, and when the Hyatt came to us to renew our contract for 2017-18, we've been here for 10 years now, and more than 10 years actually. They usually send us a boilerplate contract that's kind of based on the previous years, and really looked at it and realized there were enough things that we needed to change that we wanted to redo the whole contract. So I kind of sat down at the table with them. I said, we want to change all these things. There were things that happened. I'll give you one example, which is that in the middle of the day on Sunday, which is a Hyatt tradition here on Sunday, they have a big, beautiful brunch with a jazz band, and that's nice. It's pleasant. The food is good. I'm sure our guests took advantage of the nice spread. But because it's such a big deal for them, at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, we would have to ask our gamers to leave that area and clear out of it until 5 o'clock the next day. So we would lose this big chunk of gaming space, and we're already pressed for space. So part of the new contract was we have those people aren't going to be there anymore, and no more Sunday brunch, no more jazz band. It's so great for our gamers to have that not be interrupted. So overall, kind of touching on bases, we've added more space. We've actually added more rooms to our block, which means in the past, as soon as KublaCon had rooms available, you book your room, and usually by February, the rooms would be sold out. And now we basically have the entire hotel, like every room here, minus some small contracts I have with airline people. And if you were a businessman coming from out of town, you could not actually even book a room here for this weekend unless you knew where the KublaCon login page was or the place. You could come as one of our guests. But so we have the whole hotel, and that again, for our guests that want an experience, they're not struggling to find a hotel. They can call and book in later. They get a good rate. So short answers, which has turned into a long answer, is more gaming space, more ease of getting into the event and coming here and knowing that you're going to be here and have a hotel room, and there's a few other things that we've done, but that's kind of it's more space and hopefully a better experience.
How was KublaCon for you so far?
Fantastic. It is honestly one of our favorite shows of the year. It's like one of our top 3 favorite shows. We love coming down here. Even if we didn't have a booth to sell things, we'd still come down and hang out. All our friends are here. We know most of the companies and people in the room. It's just a really good time. Our favorite show.
I want to put a call out to our volunteers. And some of the people that are working for me have been here, and it kind of chokes me up a little bit, have been here since 1994 or 5, that long. And our folks come here and they put in, I can't even describe how many hours they put in. The weekend is like 72 hours long itself, from top to bottom. They might sleep 6 of those, play 8 of those, and the rest of it is working, doing stuff for KublaCon to, really. And they do it in part for me because they're friends and we know each other, and they know how much I want a great event to happen. But in the end, they do it for all of our guests, all of the attendees. And so we just have a great staff, and I want to kind of put a big thank you out to them.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to us, Japji, and we'll definitely see you next year.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.